This is Transcend with Nat, where we are awakening to the spiritual heart, sharing stories and awarenesses along the path of transcendence. Hi, and welcome to Transcend with Nat. This is Nat, and I am your host. Maybe you can tell today I'm just getting over this respiratory thing that's still there in the chest a little bit. I think it's just about over. It wasn't too bad. We have some major Sahara dust clouds here in Puerto Rico, which definitely does inflame those kinds of respiratory issues people may have. And it's actually the Sahara dust, the sands from the Sahara that come over in the wind, and these big clouds can come over at times around this time of year. And this just happens to be probably one of the bigger ones, or if not biggest, that I've seen. It's very hazy outside. So I still do have that deeper voice, that jazzy radio voice. We're on K-Love today. This is Jazzy Radio Nat. So anyway, today I'm going to be going from my book again, Transcending the Practice of Spiritual Living, Volume 2. And if you haven't gotten that book, it's a really good book. People are finding it very valuable. At least that's what they're telling me. Maybe because they like me and they just want to tell me nice things. No, it's actually a very valuable book that has a lot of information, a lot of things that I've shared from my life and my awakening spiritually, all the years and years of working on myself and then assisting others in working on themselves and letting go of those things that are not truly who we are, our true nature, our soul, that spark of the divinity within us, helping people reconnect with that in greater ways. And that's something that I continue to do. Obviously, if you're listening to this, you are part of that. This chapter is chapter 18, which is embracing discomfort. And that's what I'm going to be talking about today. And it actually couldn't come at a more perfect time today, as I was dealing with some things that were making me very uncomfortable. And it's no stranger, discomfort is no stranger to those of us on a path of awakening, of awareness, of moving that spiritual awareness, because you've got to look at yourself in the mirror. If you want to know the spiritual realities of who you are, you got to look at yourself in the mirror, and that includes all the things you've judged as bad and good, and look them in the face. And that is extremely uncomfortable at times. That's going to be our discussion today. Now, I want to share a little bit about the light gatherings. The light gatherings is something you can join and participate in on Tuesday evenings in the US. I do it every Tuesday. Usually, almost always, I'm there. And if not, I will let you know ahead of time. So get on my newsletter. I have a weekly newsletter, and I announce that on my email list about the light gatherings, and so that you can join and you can get that information on my website, transcend.online. You can get that information. You can get this book, Transcending. You can get all those things through my website, transcend.online. And the light gathering is a really great opportunity for you to let go of those things that may be burdening you, that may be weighing on you in your life. It's an opportunity to just put them into the light, and there's others there also holding the light. So together we create a greater opportunity for more light to be present And so it's a great opportunity for you to hold for others, as well as to give of those things yourself, as well as those things that you may be involved in that you're excited about that are even going well. You can put those in the light, and those exciting experiences in the light, trips and family and work and all of the things that go on in our lives. It's a great opportunity to have that opportunity to put them in the light with others. And it also involves sharing with me. So if you have any questions, you're welcome to ask them during that gathering. So if you're interested in that, and part of that is I've spent a lot of years and worked with a lot of techniques and a lot of different processes when it comes to spirituality, spiritual awakening, working on myself, working on my emotional well being, my mental well being, my physical well being, my unconscious levels, all of these levels that make up who I am. I've spent and dedicated a lot of my life, many decades, to this endeavor of awakening. I probably know tools and techniques and have participated in them than definitely I remember, unless something triggers some of those things, and probably more than most people will ever be exposed to in their life. And one of the things that I noticed out there in the world, where people are seeking, where they're searching for that greater meaning, for that greater connection, that greater experience of that something more, is that there's so many different paths. There's so much available now. It's hard to bring it into what is going to be the most impactful and most useful in your life. I have spent years filtering down all of this information and experience of these spiritual techniques, spiritual psychology, working the various levels, the clearing techniques, the meditation, all of these things that I have done for so many years, the retreats, the workshops, etc., and filtered that down, the information down to those things which are essential, that are simple, not always easy, but simple enough to truly integrate into your daily life. If you live a normal life that just seems to be full and full on and continuously you're working to just keep going and going, and then maybe you want to just veg out at the TV or something, but how do you integrate where you are actually experiencing greater light, greater loving, greater expansion, greater joy in your life in a way that's doable, in a way that you can keep going with, in a way that is truly integrated into the very fabric of your life. And so that's part of why I'm doing these light gatherings. Is it's a simple way for you to have a touchstone to just let things go into the light. An extremely effective, essential aspect, technique, process, whatever you want to call it. This is an essential part of integrating the spirit into your daily life, is in using the light. And there's ways that you can do that on a daily basis. And this is just an opportunity that I provide on a weekly basis for you to do that in a group, so that at least you get that touching in of that light. And then as I am doing more and sharing more, I will be sharing more on how to integrate some of these most essential aspects of the spiritual journey into your life, so that you feel more connected. You're experiencing more connection with the divine in ways that truly are doable with all the demands that go on in your life. And that is something I've been looking at a long time. And that is something that I am working on bringing forward now in the coming years, is how to truly integrate all of these teachings once they're distilled down to the core nature of what they are. And part of that is one of those most effective ways is putting things in the light in your daily life. So that's an opportunity on Tuesday nights. I encourage you to participate in that. And also, if you're feeling that way, if you're feeling disconnected, if you're feeling that spark is missing, maybe the enthusiasm of your life is missing, if you're looking to re-engage and reconnect with the light and bring that more into your everyday life, and that loving and that connection to who you truly are and your connection to the divinity within you and to having God more present in your awareness in your life, you can reach out to me. I work with people individually, and you can get that on my website, transcend.online, or just shoot me an email or shoot me a direct message on Instagram. And we can set up a time to look at how I can assist you in going forward. I do what's called a spiritual life review, and that is the first thing I do with people to really look at their lives through that framework, through that vision of the spiritual lens, to look at the greater view of what your learnings are, what your challenges are, what are the ways in which you could use greater support, where are the areas that are available for transformation. Because sometimes you're at that point of transformation or you're going through a big transformation, and it's really helpful to have someone there with you, supporting you with that higher consciousness. And so that's something that I offer to people, and you can get more on that on my website, transcend.online. Or if you'd like to know more, you can just reach out to me directly through the website, through email, through Instagram, through any of those methods, and I can assist you. The other thing I'm really good at, it's something that I find I'm really good at because I see the results. I don't look at it as it's me. It's just a gift that works through me, is that I seem to be really good at helping people get what they want and realize the dreams, or at least take those steps where they start going in the direction of their dreams, especially those dormant dreams, those things that they have had in the back of their mind that is just they haven't acted on. So if that's something you're dealing with, that you have those dreams, you have those things that you've been sitting on, that you haven't taken those steps to realize into this world, that's something that seems to come very naturally for me to assist people in getting what they want and getting those visions in the position, or moving them in a position where they are taking the steps to manifest those more fully in their lives and in this world. I've done that with a lot of people, and it's pretty incredible for me too. I watch them open. I watch people open to the dream and then see the light move something within them and move something in their life, and then it just kind of seems to happen that they take those steps. And of course, I'm there reflecting to them what is true and assisting them in overcoming the mental dialogue that would stop them from taking those next steps. So if you're one of those people, we all are in some ways, I think, but you have a dream that you're ready to actually realize into this world, that you are looking to take those next steps, or reach out to me and I will talk to you and assist you in looking at that dream and bringing that more into reality with the help of the light, and in the best, the highest good, in the way that it can, if it is for the highest good. So that's something that I encourage you to reach out to me with, if that's something you'd like assistance on. So today we're going to talk about being uncomfortable and embracing that discomfort. And I'm going to just read something from this book, Transcending the Practice of Spiritual Living, Volume 2, in that chapter. When you choose to consciously expand, even in the midst of seeming contraction, you turn the stumbling blocks into stepping stones towards your spiritual growth. When you step up to meet the challenges that Spirit has put there for you to overcome and embrace the discomfort of not knowing, what awakens is creativity and enthusiasm. As you maintain your course with higher resolve, you build your muscles of endurance and perseverance. Then you realize into the world the strength of your destiny and are a blessing to all you touch. There's a couple key points there. Number one is expanding in the midst of contraction and facing those challenges that are given to you, embracing the discomfort of that. Because on this path, I mean, even last night, I was working with someone, I was the client in this scenario, and I was working with someone who has many letters after his name, a many lettered person. He has many degrees in psychology and in working with people and in all sorts of things. And he reflected to me something that I was not embracing within myself, an aspect of me that I heard myself trying to avoid as soon as he brought that to my attention. It's like, wow, there's a really good one that I was trying to really beat around the bush and not take responsibility, not take ownership of that aspect of myself, because it was a really uncomfortable one to embrace, one that I don't like, that I have judgments on. And so it was really hard for me to face that. And I did, and I acknowledged it, I owned it. And the freedom that happens when you do that is profound. The expansion when you embrace those aspects of you that you have been denying, it's like the energy lifts and expands and lets go. However, in the process of it, it's very uncomfortable. And it's something that I'm used to. And after I worked with this person, I felt great because I just love the work of self discovery. I didn't always feel quite this jazzed, but finding those places inside of me that I don't like and that I've been denying and then finally embracing them, it's fantastic. It's great work to be doing. So I encourage you to really not shy away from those things that cause you discomfort. And then today I was dealing with some things with my family. And as we all know, family, there's a certain karma that comes with family. There's certain patterns, there's certain things that really get reflected deep within us when you're dealing with family and even physiologically. And so there was a lot of frustration and just difficulty of what I was having to accept and deal with. The idea of just embracing that, of accepting that, is something that is extremely beneficial in how you approach those difficult things. It doesn't mean that you're going to choose to participate in everything, especially if it's not working for you. You don't have to participate. You get your choices in that. Sometimes you don't have as many choices, and often you do have choices. And so you can choose that, but it still becomes that reflector of what are you embracing? Well, you're embracing how you feel. You're embracing your discomfort. You're embracing those parts of you that are uncomfortable because it's reflecting parts of you. and things that you may not be owning inside of yourself. And so that process of that embracing the difficulties, the challenges, and expanding even as you're feeling contracted, of bringing, what is that embracing? It's an ownership, but it's an ownership with loving when you're embracing. So it's a loving ownership of those aspects inside that we are finding difficult inside of ourselves. And it's being reflected to us by how we are relating to what's going on in the world. What's going on in the world is what's going on in the world. How we're relating to that is unique to us. How you relate to what is going on in the world is unique to you, and unique to all the lessons and the karmas and the things you're here to learn and complete and grow from and through. Because two people can have the same situation happening out in the world in their lives and respond to it in extremely different ways internally, which then is reflected in their actions of how they're responding externally. But first, it's the internal interpretation and experience of how they're relating to the outside world. When you're having an experience about what's going on that is disturbing to you, that is uncomfortable, to embrace that. Because embracing that, you're embracing the learning and the growth that is available to you, because you're bringing that ownership with loving to those aspects of you that are uncomfortable to look at, and the ways in which you are responding internally to what is going on outside of you, to what is going on externally. As you can embrace that with loving, as you can expand in that, and as you can have that intention of owning it, and with the loving, with the compassion, and with the forgiveness, that as you are doing those things and going in that direction and bringing those aspects back into you, then you can benefit from the positive ways of those things that you've been denying inside of yourself. And you can move into a greater experience of this world and a greater way of relating to what's going on in the world inside of you, which will translate to how you handle those situations. Most people are focused on how they're handling the situation out there, not realizing that it is how they are relating to the situation out there within themselves that is the impetus for them to be handling the situation externally in their actions the way they are. And so if you really want to change your behavior, if you really want to change how you're managing the outer situations, the key is to own, to embrace, to forgive, to love, to heal those aspects inside of you that are causing you to see it how you're seeing it, that are causing you to relate internally and have the experience internally that you're having. And as you can be more comfortable with the discomfort, or at least embrace that experience of being discomfort, not trying to deny it or get rid of it, but to see what it has for you and what it's showing you. And as you can grow those parts inside of you and how you are viewing and relating internally to the external, as you shift that, it naturally flows out to the choices you are making in your life externally, the behaviors you're doing externally. So that's really how this path of inner work ultimately affects everything going on in your life. And when you get into the spiritual aspects of that, it's even more so. A lot of this is the psychological aspects of it. And then we marry that with the spiritual aspects of loving and those concepts and practices of forgiveness, of letting things go into the light, of bringing the light more fully into you. And as you integrate both those psychological frameworks with the spiritual framework, it can really benefit and change your life. And so that's what I'm doing here. And that's what I talk about in this book. And each chapter is different. Each chapter is a different subject, and and they're bite sized. They're not really long. You don't have to read it in order. You can just turn to something and there is a message there for you. That is the message that I have for you today. And that's Transcending the Practice of Spiritual Living, Volume 2 by me, Nathaniel Sherritt. Available on Amazon, and you can get it through my website, transcend.online, as well as information on the light gatherings, on other events I'm involved in, on my own personal working with you, if that's something of interest to you. My newsletter, that's my weekly newsletter. Sign up when you get on my website, sign up for that so that you can at least get the free version. There is a subscription version as well that you can upgrade to and enjoy the full effect of what I'm writing about. And in the meantime, God bless you all. This is Nat signing off. 'Cause I'm free. Just forgive yourself. Come on, let it be. 'Cause I'm free.